Welcome to The Right Question. I'm Daphne Gray Grant. Today we're talking about learning to write in a second language. I'm answering a question from Yosef Hussein Nejad from Moshad, Iran. Here's what he wrote to me. I'm planning to move to Canada, and since I'm not native to English, I have to pass an English proficiency exam. I've managed to get a good mark in all skills except writing. Because I earned a very good mark in speaking, that makes me think I'm doing okay with grammar and use of words. Do you have any suggestions for how I can learn to write more like a native? Thanks for the question, Yosef. I'm currently learning to speak French, so I really identify with what you asked, although perhaps not for the reason you think. For me, it's much more difficult to learn to speak a second language. While I'm still far from bilingual, I can read and write more easily than I can speak. I think this is because I get nervous and embarrassed about the possibility of making mistakes. Anyway, the first thing you should do is congratulate yourself on your ability to speak a second language. That's an excellent first step. Now let me talk a little bit about the neuroscience of learning a second language. There are 4 measures for fluency: speaking, listening, writing, and reading. Each has its own set of challenges and each requires a different set of skills. And how you do with each modality depends on how much practice you've had. If you're having difficulty with writing but none with speaking, my guess is that you've had lots of practice speaking but not so much writing. For me, the problem is the reverse. I've had lots of practice writing but not nearly enough speaking. You can't expect skills to cross modalities easily. Here are some other facts to consider. The majority of people apparently find it much easier to learn to speak a new language rather than to read and write it. I'm the exception who proves the rule. There may also be some genetic factors at work. Some people are born with a natural ability to speak more easily. Others are born with an ability to comprehend more readily. When we speak, we all find ways to get our meaning across. Sometimes this is done with context, other times we do it with waving our hands around. But for written tests, your examiners are going to be much more concerned about your level of grammatical correctness. If you want to become better at writing English, you need to practice a whole lot more. Try keeping a diary or a blog, and be sure to get some feedback from a native English speaker at least once a week. I've written my own blog post on how non-native English speakers can improve their writing, and I include the link below. It may seem simple, and it is. If you want to get better at writing in English, do more of it. Finally, while we're on the subject of learning to write in a second language, let me wrap up with a quote from Italian film director Federico Fellini. "A different language is a different vision of life." Thanks for your question, Yosef. I wish you all the best as you work to develop another vision for your life.